The most dangerous thing in your life right now might not be your job, your age, or your bank account. It's the thought, it's too late for me. That belief quietly kills every attempt you make to change. It's time to destroy it. The internal alibi commanding your burning desire. My friend, the belief it's too late is the world's most common alibi. It is the excuse used by 98% of men who have failed to achieve leadership and financial independence, who settle for survival rather than striving for command and accepting the responsibility of self-direction. This pervasive mental inertia is a comfortable cage, a self-imposed limitation far more binding than any physical or economic constraint. It is the ultimate justification for inaction, masking a lack of courage and definite aim, which are the true missing ingredients in their lives. This single alibi has destroyed more dreams than war or pestilence because it paralyzes the will and renders intelligence useless, turning potential into regret. The energy required to maintain this elaborate excuse is enormous, yet it produces no positive result. It is pure mental waste. It is a form of self-sabotage, rooted in a lack of faith in the self, which must be immediately rectified. To accept this alibi is to surrender the highest privilege of being human, the power of self-direction, allowing the past to dictate the possibilities of the future. The very act of uttering this phrase represents a psychological capitulation, a failure of the imaginative faculty to conceive of a better future. When the mind ceases to believe in the possibility of a comeback, the body ceases to mobilize the necessary energy for the fight. The internal clock stops, regardless of how much external time remains. But I tell you that ALL achievement, all earned riches, have their beginning in an IDEA mixed with a burning desire. This is the first great step toward personal power, the necessary first move of a commander who chooses his ground rather than accepting the ground chosen for him. It is the essential blueprint for the life you intend to command. To think of wealth without first possessing this mental engine is like trying to sail a ship without wind or fuel. The structure exists, but the power for motion is entirely absent. The establishment of this definite aim is a declaration of mental independence, severing the chains that bind you to past failures and inherited limitations. The idea alone is inert. It is merely raw material, lacking the kinetic energy for manifestation, like unignited gunpowder lying uselessly on the ground, waiting for a spark of feeling to be useful. Without this spark, the idea remains a mere thought, impotent and intangible. It is the fusion of the idea with a white-hot, feverish desire that creates an unstoppable force, a power that compels action and overcomes all obstacles, mobilizing your mental powers into a state of high vibration and creative focus. This intense emotional heat refines the thought, giving it direction and immense motive power. This desire is the mental heat required by the law of transmutation to convert abstract thought into physical reality, accelerating the speed of manifestation, allowing you to bypass years of indecision and drift. If this fusion is not present, the moment the first difficulty arises, the thought impulse will be abandoned, confirming the internal too-late alibi. Desire, when truly white-hot, becomes a non-negotiable spiritual certainty. If your desire is strong enough, if it is truly a fever in your soul, it possesses something which recognizes no such word as impossible, and it certainly recognizes no phrase like too late. It becomes a mental magnet, drawing the resources necessary for its fulfillment through the law of attraction and harmony, compelling circumstances to arrange themselves for your benefit and success, often in ways that seem miraculous and perfectly timed, because you have established the necessary mental frequency and definite expectation. This fever of desire serves as a constant internal deadline, urging you forward relentlessly against the clock, replacing the regret of the past with the urgency of the future. It is the spiritual equivalent of financial capital, capable of generating far greater returns than any bank or investment fund, because its source is inexhaustible within your soul. It is the very force that moves the universe in response to the determined mind. This process of fusion is not mystical, but purely practical. The strong emotion provides the persistence needed to push through temporary defeat, the inevitable reality check that eliminates the casually interested and leaves the field open for the truly committed. The moment you achieve this mental state, the time previously lost is not merely stopped, but actively redeemed by the accelerated velocity of your focused will. It provides an immediate and continuous supply of moral and pleaded psychic energy that is immune to external criticism or discouragement. This burning conviction is what separates the dreamer from the doer, the wish from the command. It is the core dynamic principle of all organized effort and the single most important factor in the success of any undertaking. You may look back at years spent in the wrong job or in toxic relationships and feel that too much effort has been wasted. You feel lost, your goals are vague, and you believe your current economic status is fixed and permanent, a sentence you cannot escape. If you are feeling discouraged, recognize that those experiences have tempered the spiritual metal of which you are made. They are assets of incomparable value, lessons paid for by time and pain that the inexperienced mind lacks. The pain of regret is a powerful, highly concentrated form of energy. You must take that pain, that regret, that frustration, and forge it into a burning desire to achieve something definite. Weak desires bring weak results. A powerful comeback requires an irresistible obsession, a singular focus that leaves no room for doubt and burns away all excuses, propelling you forward with tremendous energy and purpose. This intensity is the price of admission to the circle of success and the key to recovering lost time through speed and efficiency, making up for the years the locusts have eaten through concentrated effort and unwavering focus. The true tragedy is not lost time, but the continued loss of time due to fear of the time already gone. You must make your desire so intense that failure is literally unthinkable and surrender is no longer an option. This emotional intensity is what guarantees the immediate, non-hesitating action that will reverse the downward trend of your personal clock, establishing a new trajectory of accelerated achievement. This transformation of negative emotion into positive desire is the ultimate form of mental alchemy, turning the lead of past failure into the gold of future success. The man who can command his emotional energy in this manner is already halfway to the leadership position he seeks, for he has proven mastery over the most difficult subject of all, the self. This emotional capital ensures that when the inevitable test of persistence arrives, your mental reservoir is full and retreat is psychologically impossible. The Life of Edwin C. Barnes is the supreme illustration of this law. He walked into Thomas Edison's office, utterly lacking in superficial advantage. He had no money, no connections, and very little formal education. Every external sign pointed to too late or not worthy. Yet his mental state was one of absolute certainty, a silent but powerful declaration of intent. His appearance was deceptive, but his mental blueprint was ironclad. He possessed a level of focused mental energy that transcended his external circumstances, an inner conviction that made his ambition palpable to the genius Edison. But he maintained a burning desire to partner with Edison, not merely to work for him. This desire was so definite and so powerful that he held it with persistence for 5 long years until opportunity finally arrived. He used a menial clerk's job not as a final destination, but as a strategic entryway to the circle of power. He made his temporary circumstance serve his eternal purpose, demonstrating supreme mental fortitude. He understood that the environment only controls those who lack a definite aim. The man with purpose controls the environment, bending it to his will. This demonstrates the fundamental truth. Thoughts mixed with persistence and a definite purpose are truly things, forces capable of overcoming any external handicap, including the handicap of age or missed opportunity, because they operate according to the immutable laws of the universe, compelling circumstances to yield. The only thing standing between you and your definite aim is the absence of a burning desire and a clear plan, which you must now provide and execute with unwavering conviction and self-reliance, proving your command over yourself and your circumstances. The quality of your desire dictates the quality of your result, and only the best is acceptable. The moment you achieve this mental state, the universe begins to reorganize itself to accommodate your definite aim. The 6 commands to destroy indifference. The great law of transmutation requires discipline. You must follow these 6 commands with the precision of a master craftsman, replacing doubt with definite action. This structured approach is the antithesis of the vague wishing that has plagued your past and stalled your progress, providing a clear map out of inertia and into purpose, transforming wishing into demand. This formula must be adhered to without alteration or excuse, as it is the exact blueprint used by every successful person I have studied, regardless of their field or era. This methodical process ensures that all 7 of the principles of success, desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, and decision, are activated and aligned toward your singular goal, eliminating the possibility of mental confusion or scattered energy. This is how the late starter creates a compressed timeline for achievement, forcing the universe to recognize their urgency. The adherence to this ritualistic process removes the need for brute force or erratic effort, replacing it with the calm, irresistible power of organized thought. 1. Fix the exact target. You must determine the exact amount of money or the definite goal you intend to acquire. Write a clear, concise statement specifying this target. Simultaneously, state exactly what service, skill, or commodity you intend to give in return. This establishes the terms of your exchange and prevents mental energy from scattering. Do not say, "I want success." Say, "I will possess the sum of $20,000 by the 1st of October next year in return for the specialized service of developing my new application." This command is precise and leaves no room for negotiation or ambiguous interpretation by the subconscious, ensuring a clear target. Remember, the definite objective is the pole star for your subconscious mind, guiding all subsequent actions and thoughts, filtering all distraction as noise. You must be able to visualize the final outcome down to the last dollar and the last detail of the service rendered. 2. Establish a hard deadline. Set a definite date when you intend to possess the outcome you desire. This combats the indifference that comes from open-ended goals. A wish without a deadline remains only a wish, a mere fantasy that fades with the morning. Your deadline is an instruction to your subconscious mind that the task is urgent, forcing immediate mobilization of your mental resources and initiating momentum. It sets a time limit on your self-imposed limitations, forcing you to act and maintain velocity, transforming the abstract desire into a tangible goal with accountability. This deadline must be treated as sacred and non-negotiable, a fixed point in time that demands action now, compelling the subconscious to work relentlessly toward that date. The power of time consciousness is harnessed only by setting a definite limit. 3. Initiate action immediately. Create an initial, concrete plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not. The habit of postponement is fatal. You do not wait for the perfect plan. You launch the first plan you can conceive and refine it through action. The greatest victory is simply beginning, which is an act of courage that breaks the spell of procrastination and sets the laws of motion in your favor. This action is the physical manifestation of your definite decision and the cornerstone of persistence. This immediate motion is proof of your sincerity and dedication to your aim, a message to your subconscious that the time for wishing is over and the time for execution has begun. 4. Write the order. Write out the concise statement covering the aim, the deadline, the reciprocal service, and the plan. This reduction of the intangible thought to a concrete, permanent form is a critical step in impressing the objective upon your subconscious mind. Your written order is your command to the universe, a commitment you cannot ignore, holding you accountable to your higher self and the law of definite aim, making your intention tangible and visible for constant affirmation and verification. This document serves as your charter of self-governance, defining your terms of engagement with reality and fixing your mind upon the goal, much like a general issues written orders to his army before the campaign begins. 5. The twice-daily ritual of faith. Read your written statement aloud, twice daily, once just before retiring at night, and once upon arising in the morning. This ritual ensures that the objective is the last thought before sleep and the first thought upon waking, dominating your conscious mind and preparing the subconscious for its executive work throughout the day and night, turning desire into a subconscious imperative and habitual thought pattern that drives all activity. This is the deliberate practice of auto-suggestion, reinforcing your faith with rhythmic, emotional commands. Never miss this ritual. It is non-negotiable, as consistency builds the conviction you need to succeed, weaving the goal into the fabric of your soul. 6. Emotionalize the possession. As you read, you must see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the outcome. Inject deep emotion or feeling with your words, as plain, unemotional words are of no consequence to the subconscious mind. Your mind acts only on thoughts that have been charged with feeling, particularly the emotions of faith and desire, transforming the words into mental energy capable of affecting the physical world through the principle of attraction, compelling manifestation through focused energy. This emotional fusion is the catalyst for the transmutation of thought, the essential ingredient for materializing the abstract desire. This is the application of the ultimate spiritual law, the principle of creative effort. Remember this: the feeling that it's too late is merely a lack of definite purpose backed by sufficient desire. You have the fuel of past regret. Now ignite the flame of obsession and command your future. Reprogramming the past, faith and autosuggestion. The belief it's too late is a powerful symptom of mental defeat. It means your subconscious mind has been magnetized by destructive thoughts, by doubt, fear, and negative suggestions absorbed over years from your environment and toxic associations. This magnetization constantly attracts circumstances that harmonize with failure, making every step forward feel like a struggle against an invisible current of mental opposition that you unknowingly created and maintained through unchecked thoughts. This is why the mere act of working hard often fails. The internal programming cancels the external effort, neutralizing your physical labor and negating your outward struggles, rendering your ambition useless. The secret to success lies not in harder labor, but in smarter mental direction and superior thought control, which is where autosuggestion becomes a dominant factor in your life. This internal struggle is the true battle for your fortune and the source of all real power, determining whether you lead or follow the dictates of your past. The victory over the ghost of it's too late is achieved by disciplined thought and emotional certainty. To reverse this, we must use autosuggestion to voluntarily control the mind, forcing it to accept the belief that you are ready for success, regardless of your past history or accumulated years of delay. Autosuggestion is the medium through which you consciously communicate with your subconscious mind, creating new, definite instructions to replace the programming of delay and doubt, establishing a new mental attitude built on confidence and definite expectation. This is your personal weapon against negative external suggestions, and the primary tool for mental conditioning. You become the architect of your inner world, and consequently your outer circumstances, consciously directing your destiny toward your defined aim. The persistent use of autosuggestion creates the mental climate necessary for success to germinate and flourish, overriding previous limitations and establishing positive dominant thoughts as the new reality. It is the bridge between the conscious desire and the subconscious execution, ensuring perfect harmony between will and action. The quality of the seeds you plant in the garden of your mind determines the harvest you will reap in your life. The subconscious mind accepts and acts upon thought impulses mixed with emotion, whether constructive or destructive. It makes no distinction between a thought based on fact and a thought based on desire. It accepts both as a reality to be manifested, provided the feeling is strong enough. Therefore, you are the master of your destiny, because you have the power to influence your own subconscious mind, which controls the vibrations that attract success. To accumulate riches or any great achievement, you must acquire the state of mind which will attract them, and that state is built upon the immovable foundation of faith. Faith is simply a state of mind that can be induced, and it is the single quality capable of eliminating the too late belief by making the desired outcome appear inevitable, providing the certainty necessary for action and persistence. This certainty is what the universe responds to because it recognizes dominant, unwavering thought, making it the most practical spiritual law available to man for the accumulation of wealth and personal power. True faith is applied, thought, focused, and charged with feeling, operating on the highest level of mental energy, far above the low vibration of fear and doubt. You must cultivate this faith until it becomes an automatic habit of the mind, a reflex of absolute belief. I recall the story of my son, Blair Hill, who was born without the ability to hear. The physicians declared his condition permanent, a physical finality that medical science could not overcome. But his mother possessed a faith so intense that she refused to accept the diagnosis. His success in eventually achieving near normal hearing and speaking abilities was attributed directly to a mother's desire backed by faith, proving that nature bends to the will of burning desire and belief, overriding even physical defects that seem impossible to overcome. This demonstrated the triumph of mind over seemingly insurmountable matter, proving the power of concentrated thought and autosuggestion. If definite thought, charged with faith, can overcome a physical affliction, what power do you think it holds over a simple economic condition? It holds absolute power, for economic conditions are primarily mental conditions, governed by the dominant thought patterns of individuals and the collective will of the people, all of which stem from thought and belief. The economic environment of the world will yield to the will of the man who commands his own mind and believes absolutely in his aim. You are not destined to failure. The crippling doubt and the feeling of being bound to a life of mediocrity are only negative suggestions you have absorbed. You must now force the conviction of self-confidence to combat the fear and doubt of the past. If you do not conquer the mind, you will never conquer the market. Your external actions will always be sabotaged by internal lack of conviction, leading to the self-imposed paralysis of indecision when opportunity arises and preventing you from seizing control. The battle for your fortune is first won in the fortress of your mind, which must be guarded against all negative entry and commanded by definite positive purpose. Conscious thought control, the continuous daily application of this formula, is the only way to establish permanent control over your thoughts and your destiny. This rhythmic practice ensures that constructive thoughts dominate the vast and powerful subconscious mind, transforming passive wishing into active demanding. 1. Demand self-confidence daily. Repeat the written self-confidence formula aloud once a day with feeling. This ritual demands persistent, continuous action toward your definite purpose and requires the elimination of destructive negative emotions like hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism. You are making a solemn covenant with yourself to eliminate every thought that does not harmonize with your definite aim, clearing the way for positive manifestation and preserving your mental energy for constructive effort. This declaration must become a habit of the heart, not merely the lips, demanding internal obedience and self-respect. 2. Visualize the future self. Concentrate your thoughts for at least 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person you intend to become, thereby creating a clear mental picture of that successful person. This visualization is not dreaming. It is the practical application of the creative imagination, using the mental picture to communicate the goal to the subconscious. See yourself operating in the environment you desire, commanding the respect due to your achievement, making the vision as rich and tangible as possible, including the sensory and emotional rewards of success. As you read, see, and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the goal, this intense mental rehearsal prepares you for the physical reality, making success familiar and expected, leaving no room for surprise or doubt when it finally arrives. 3. Emotionalize the orders. Remember that your subconscious mind will act only upon instructions that are emotionalized and handed over to it with feeling. Inject the positive emotions, desire, faith, love, enthusiasm, energetic transmutation, etc., into your written statement when you read it aloud. A cold, flat reading is wasted effort. You must literally feel the money in your hands or the position of command as you speak the words, charging them with the mental energy needed for execution and making the impression deep and lasting upon the inner mind, turning the spoken word into a powerful mental command. This fusion of thought and emotion creates the necessary high-frequency vibration that attracts success. 4. Acknowledge potential power. Devote time to meditating on this truth. Somewhere in your makeup lies the seed of achievement which, if aroused, could carry you to heights you never hoped to attain. This power can be aroused through the repetition of thought and the continuous application of faith. Recognize that your spiritual and mental resources are boundless, capable of compensating for any time you feel you have lost, making your past irrelevant to your future potential and giving you command over your destiny. Ensuring the fear of being too late is permanently replaced by the confidence of mastery. Your mind contains a hidden reserve of genius awaiting your command and activation, ready to serve your definite aim. You must choose to believe in the inexhaustible potential of your own mind. Now is the time to commit to that power. The urgency of execution, decision, and planning, the feeling that it's too late, is the result of letting indecision and doubt crystallize into fear. If you are waiting for a clear sign, a perfect moment, or a feeling of absolute certainty, you will wait forever, consuming the precious time that remains. The late starter cannot afford the luxury of doubt, as time is a dwindling resource that must be treated as capital and invested immediately with unwavering conviction. The price of hesitation is forfeiture, paid in the currency of lost opportunity and eventual regret. Your decisions must become instant and unwavering. Speed of decision is the hallmark of leadership and the countermeasure to procrastination, turning thought into movement. This decisive action is the proof that you have conquered the fear of criticism and failure and are fit for command. You must understand that every hour spent deliberating beyond the point of gathering sufficient facts is an hour surrendered to the poverty consciousness you are trying to escape. To reverse this fatal trend, you must immediately adopt the habit of reaching decisions promptly and applying organized planning with the precision of a general who leaves nothing to chance or uncertainty, but rather commands a situation through definite action and forethought. This habit transforms time wasted into time leveraged, accelerating your progress dramatically and demonstrating true leadership and command over your life's direction. The time saved by prompt decision can often equate to years of productivity, allowing you to catch up to your definite aim. This speed prevents the mental friction caused by prolonged deliberation, which is merely a mask for fear. The world's great leaders are not merely thinkers, they are decisive thinkers. Their ability to choose a course and commit their forces instantly is what sets them apart. Lack of decision was near the head of the list of the 30 major causes of failure that I uncovered through years of analysis. The man who achieves leadership, mastery, and wealth reaches decisions promptly and changes them slowly, if at all, and only when overwhelmingly new facts demand it. Failure does the opposite, reaching decisions slowly and changing them often. To break the habit of postponement, you must understand that the power of thought becomes manifest only when it is directed by a definite, unyielding decision, which then becomes the starting point of action, compelling movement and destroying inertia. The mind cannot act with power until it is fixed upon a definite target and commanded by a definite decision. This fixity of purpose is the magnetic force that compels the universe to align with your ambition. The story of Dr. Gonzalez illustrates this perfectly. He spent 2 full years merely thinking about wishing for $1 million to build his great school. He got nowhere. The desire was present, but it was inert. Lacking the ignition spark of decision, he was praying for the funds without applying the necessary natural law of decision. The moment he made the definite decision to acquire the money within a week, he instantly created the plan, and the funds appeared within 36 hours. This illustrates that thought becomes powerful only when decision is applied. The decision is the spark that ignites the plan, forcing the necessary steps into being with great speed, proving the power of mental definiteness and the speed of manifestation that follows conviction. The resources were always available. The definite decision unlocked them from the invisible realm of potential. The wealth of the world is waiting for the man whose mind is fixed and whose decision is final. The core concept is this: Decision is the mastery of procrastination and the beginning of all progress. You must understand that the how-to often reveals itself only after the decision to act has been made. Waiting for the complete roadmap is the surest way to guarantee stagnation, as motion is the great revealer of hidden resources and necessary steps, showing you the way forward and activating the forces of attraction and inspiration. The necessary clarity is found in the action itself, not in the endless cycle of preparation. Eliminating delay. Your new life begins the moment you substitute definite action for procrastination. 1. Reach decisions promptly. You must train yourself to reach conclusions swiftly and with confidence. Do not permit the opinions of others, especially concerning your definite chief, aim to influence your major decisions after you have gathered the necessary facts. Acquire facts quietly, without disclosing your purpose or allowing input from those who have failed, and then rely entirely upon your own mind and your inner counsel, trusting your judgment and vision above all else. This process of filtering advice is critical to maintaining mental independence and preventing external sabotage. Never mistake the opinion of a fearful acquaintance for a definitive fact. 2. Build your plan blueprint. Transformation of desire into reality calls for a concrete written plan. Reduce your plan to writing. This gives concrete form to the intangible desire and provides a framework for persistent action. A plan does not need to be perfect, only definite. The act of writing, the blueprint, forces precision. A written blueprint provides a tangible target for your subconscious mind and a measurable system for your persistence. 3. Act on flashes of inspiration. Do not wait for a complete, definite plan, but begin at once to see yourself in possession of your goal, demanding that your subconscious mind hand over the necessary, refined plans. When plans appear often as an inspiration or flash through the sixth sense, put them into action immediately. Failure to act on inspiration will be fatal to your success, as inspiration is often the creative imagination delivering the necessary blueprint precisely when it is needed, and that moment is fleeting. These insights are time-sensitive instructions. Obey them instantly. 4. Embrace temporary defeat. If a plan fails, accept it only as an indication that the plan was unsound, not as a reflection of your ability. Rebuild those plans immediately and set sail once more. Every failed plan eliminates a wrong method, bringing you one step closer to the right one. The true failure is the person who quits, not the person who fails temporarily. Your ability to recover quickly and adjust the blueprint is the ultimate test of your persistence and decision. The time you feared you had lost is recovered through the speed of your decisions. Make a decision now to use this channel as your mental ally and resource. Hit the button below and subscribe. The comeback trajectory. Persistence and advantage. The only reason it feels too late is because you have, at some point, accepted temporary defeat as permanent failure. Every major success story is built upon a pile of previous setbacks, and the late starter's comeback is often the most spectacular of all, proving the ultimate power of will and self-mastery over circumstance and the calendar. The wealth of the world flows to the individual who refuses to quit, regardless of how many times his plans must be revised. Persistence is the sustained effort necessary to induce faith, and it is the only quality that ensures you will be bountifully rewarded for your struggles. It is the quality that overcomes the inevitable friction of the world, including negative opinions and difficult circumstances, proving your sincerity to yourself and your mastermind allies. It is the staying power of the determined mind, the bedrock of successful endeavor, without which the foundation of desire collapses and the efforts of decision are wasted. Persistence is not merely passive endurance. It is an active, focused state of mind that operates in continuous motion. The lack of persistence is a weakness common to the majority of men. The turning point in the lives of those who succeed usually comes at the moment of some crisis through which they are introduced to their other selves, the persistent, indomitable self they never knew existed, capable of extraordinary endurance. You must be willing to burn your ships and cut all sources of retreat, maintaining a burning desire to win that is stronger than the fear of failure, removing the option of retreat and forcing yourself forward into necessary action, knowing that success lies just beyond the point of perceived failure. The moment of greatest struggle is often the prelude to the greatest breakthrough. Consider the universal mistake of quitting when overtaken by temporary defeat, illustrated perfectly by the story of R.U. Darby's uncle, who quit digging just 3 feet from the gold. He had done all the work, the desire, the planning, the effort, but lacked the final ingredient of persistence. His experience proves that effort, however monumental, is futile without the final act of resolve. Contrast this universal failure with the comebacks achieved by late starters like W.C. Fields or the great actress Marie Dressler, who faced utter rejection and personal crisis well past the age when most people retire. Their persistence in maintaining their definite chief aim eventually brought them the favorable breaks that the average quitter never sees. The break only comes to the one who is still in motion, proving their resolve to the last possible moment. Their age was not a barrier. It became a testament to the undying power of an organized, persistent mind. You are the sum of your habits. Make persistence your dominant habit. This cultivated habit will serve as the constant protective force that prevents your mind from accepting the negative suggestions of doubt and fear. Forging unbreakable willpower, the habit of persistence is cultivated through definite purpose, continuous action, and a refusal to listen to negative influence. 1. Adopt the winning motto. Write out a place where you see it daily. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. This is not merely a slogan. It is an instruction to your subconscious mind that surrender is not an option. Repeat it with emotion until it becomes a part of your belief system. This constant auto-suggestion programs your deepest self to reject the concept of final failure. 2. Build persistence through willpower. The easiest way to overcome lack of persistence is by building a stronger fire under your desires. Persistence is developed by continuously focusing on the object of intense desire. Your will is strengthened every time you refuse to yield to doubt or negative suggestions. You must exercise your willpower daily, just as you exercise a muscle. Every act of self-discipline reinforces your internal capacity for sustained effort. 3. The 4 pillars of persistence. Ensure your efforts are based on these 4 specific tangible elements, as lack of any one of them will cause you to falter. 1. A definite purpose backed by burning desire. 2. A definite plan and continuous action. 3. A mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences. And 4. A friendly alliance, who will encourage follow-through. These pillars provide the structure necessary to transform mere hope into organized, unstoppable power. 4. Master the fear of criticism. You must close your mind tightly against discouraging influences, especially the negative suggestions of relatives and friends, which often cause people to fail to create plans and put them into action. Their fear is not your reality. Build a mental wall against all outside negativity. The criticism you receive, especially from your immediate toxic circle, is proof that you are attempting something they are afraid to attempt themselves, and that you are moving toward your freedom, making their judgment irrelevant to your success. Your obedience to your inner counsel must be absolute, regardless of external noise. 5. Adversity as advantage. Recognize that every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. The greatest reverse is not failure, but the lack of persistence to rebuild your plans. Look for the advantage hidden in your setback and use it as leverage for your next attempt. The late starter's experience with hardship becomes their greatest asset when fused with persistence, providing wisdom that the younger generation lacks. Use the painful lessons of your lost years as specialized knowledge for accelerated future success. If you commit to this persistence, the time you feared was lost will be recovered through accelerated results. Organizing immediate power, master mind and environment. If the thought "it's too late" is frustrating you because you lack the necessary capital, education, or network, the essential resources, you must immediately acquire power. This acquisition is not optional. It is mandatory for success on a grand scale and for commanding your circumstances. Power defined as organized and intelligently directed knowledge is achieved through the mastermind principle. This principle allows you to multiply your time and capacity instantly, compensating for decades of missed opportunity and limited specialized knowledge, overcoming the constraints of a single lifetime and single mind. It is the key to accelerated success and rapid progress, allowing you to access a collective intelligence far superior to any one individual. To make a comeback and prove it's not too late, you must stop trying to achieve everything alone. No great success was ever built in isolation. Power is necessary to translate desire into action. The mastermind principle is the coordination of effort of two or more people working toward a definite end in a spirit of harmony. This harmonious alliance creates a third, invisible mind of its own, a synergistic force that increases the mental capacity of all involved, often revealing solutions that no single mind could conceive. The supreme example is Andrew Carnegie, who accumulated millions not by his specialized knowledge of steel, but by organizing and directing a mastermind group of men who supplied the specialized knowledge he lacked. His example proves that the knowledge to acquire everything needed for attainment is available, even if you do not personally possess it. You only need the definite plan and the ability to organize the power of others, directing their efforts toward your definite aim. Building power and eliminating blocks. Your task now is to strategically leverage the time and knowledge of the world to accelerate your own trajectory. 1. Form the harmonious alliance. First, identify the specialized knowledge you lack to meet your deadline. Then immediately identify the individual who possesses it. Ally yourself with this group or individual. This alliance must maintain perfect harmony with every member. Disharmony is a waste of mental energy and will disrupt the power of the mastermind faster than any external competition. Seek those who possess the knowledge, experience, or influence that you require for your definite aim. 2. Acquire specialized knowledge. Stop suffering from an inferiority complex due to limited schooling. Use your mastermind alliance to acquire the specialized knowledge necessary for your definite chief aim. The person who organizes and directs the specialized knowledge of others is just as educated as the person who possesses it. The way of success is the continuous pursuit of knowledge directly related to your purpose, not generalized education. 3. Build a wall of immunity. The negative influences that fed the "it's too late" belief are subtle and pervasive. Your mind, exposed to a toxic environment, will eventually take on the color of that environment. Use your willpower constantly to build a wall of immunity against negative influences in your own mind, whether external suggestions from critics or internal suggestions of doubt. 4. Control your thoughts. You must keep your mind busy with a definite purpose backed by a definite plan to prevent negative thought impulses from seizing your subconscious mind. An idle mind is the origin of stagnation. Give your mind definite commands to execute, or it will default to the programming of fear and procrastination. 5. Engage the workshop of the mind. Use your imagination by holding imaginary council meetings with successful mentors, historical or contemporary figures who inspire you to stimulate receptive thought and draw upon knowledge. Sit in silent contemplation, visualizing these figures and asking for their counsel on your problem. This process engages the creative imagination. The 6th, to provide inspiration that accelerates your planning. If you have made a definite chief aim today, then you must seal that commitment with action. I command you now, go to the comments below and write down the definite date you have set for the attainment of your aim. Publish your decision for the world to witness. This is the final act of decision that guarantees no retreat. The principle of redemption. You have been given the laws. You have been given the action steps. Every time you acted on procrastination, you were choosing a definite path, the path of delay. Every time you surrender to the thought it's too late, you are making a definite decision against your own freedom. Now, you have the formula to reverse the trend. The principles of desire, faith, autosuggestion, decision, persistence, and mastermind are your tools for reclaiming the time you feared was lost. Your comeback is a testament to the fact that the human mind, charged with definite purpose, is the greatest power on earth. Your years of struggle are not a liability. They are the foundation of wisdom and intensity necessary for your breakthrough. The price of failure is perpetual indecision. The reward of action is immediate command of your own life. If this message has struck you, if you know someone still paralyzed by the belief that they are too late, irrevocably bound by the chains of past errors, I urge you to share this wisdom with them. You may be providing the spark they need to begin their own journey of command. You are not too late, but you do not have time to waste. Embrace your purpose now. Build your engine of freedom today. This channel walks with you on the path of definite achievement, urging you to action now, for the moment of truth is always the present, and the path to victory begins with a single definite decision.